Berry, one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, has been described as one of the most beautiful women in the world.
This is my first party. I planned the party hop, but this is my first stop.
Her legion of fans has created a huge number of websites on the internet, covering every detail of her career, from Midwest teenage beauty queen to becoming one of Tinseltown's hottest properties.
There's so many Halle Berry sites that when I went to set up my own site, I couldn't even use my own name because everybody's already used it every which way they can. So I'm thinking right now how I'm going to get really creative and come up with another name for my very own website page.
Halle was brought up by her white English mother in Cleveland, Ohio.
I was the kid that the other kids didn't quite understand. How could mommy be white and I be black? So I had to deal with it, but no different than a lot of the other kids. Everybody had their little issue they were teased about. I don't miss Cleveland. I miss my mom and I miss my family and friends there, but I don't miss Cleveland. I'd rather be up on this hill any day.
Today, Halle lives in the ultra-exclusive Hollywood Hills just above Sunset Boulevard.
We are in my backyard, in my garden, and unfortunately El Nino has been upon us recently, and so all the rain, it's been hard to have my plants stay alive. And also it is our winter, so it's not as beautiful as it normally is. But normally this green that you see right here is usually all covered with these bright pink hanging geraniums. So normally just picture all pink, 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 all that your eyes can see. I had been looking for a house for maybe a month, and this house was the last house I saw. I was ready to give up. And you know how sometimes when you walk in a place and you just instinctually know this is my house? That's how I felt. It was very bright and airy, and a lot of the outside was a part of the inside. I had big windows, and I thought, I can put a fabulous garden out here, and won't it be great to look at this garden while I'm inside? And that was probably the major attraction. And it's in the hills, so it's close to where my manager's office was, close to where the studios are. I'm not one that really likes to drive in my car a lot, and so this way I don't have to go very far to get to any of the studios that I ever have to go to. These are orchids, which usually are a lot fuller than this. And when it's not, hasn't been raining so much, these usually stand straight up and look really beautiful. But now we're settling for them hanging. I have a gardener that comes 3 times a week. But I also like to get out here, especially when I'm not working, and mainly in the spring and summer when it's fun to be out here, when everything's in bloom. And I like to pick flowers and put them in the house and make little arrangements. And sometimes I come out and I do some weeding because I find that that relaxes me. And I kick the gardener away and I say, no, I'll do that. Or don't cut that, don't cut that. So we have a really good relationship.
Halle's success on the beauty pageant circuit made it tough for her to break into acting.
I think it was hard for me going from beauty pageants into, at least it was in my mind, because I felt like I wasn't being taken very seriously because my resume had, you know, queen of this, queen of that, queen of this, queen of that, and no real acting credits. So I decided to take a few, you know, titles off my resume and go with nothing, and I tried to seek out roles where I could lose the beauty pageant image. My first movie, I played a crack-addicted woman who was really down and out and took off all the makeup and just got raw and let another side of me show that I think a lot of people didn't believe that I had.
Halle has already starred in a wide range of films, including Losing Isaiah, Baps, The Flintstones, Executive Decision, 2 Spike Lee movies, Jungle Fever and Girl 6, and the Warren Beatty movie, Bulworth.
Being a black woman is also, they don't have it easy in Hollywood.
I think women get a tough time in general.
They don't get as many opportunities. I'm not trying to make any political statements. They don't get as many opportunities. So you really have to fight for them. As The Flintstones was not written for a black female.
luckily, our director for the Flintstones, Brian Levant, is a liberal kind of guy, and he thought, yeah, why not send her in? And I auditioned for Brian, and I convinced him in that meeting that, Bedrock should be integrated. You're making a huge mistake if you do not integrate Bedrock and 93 in America. And he bought it, and he said, you're right. So that was a special coup for me, because there again, I was able to be in a big, huge movie where the color of my skin didn't matter. They made no mention that I was black in Bedrock. I was just the character that I was. And to some people, that may not be a big deal, but what that is saying is that we're gradually finding our equality within the industry, which I'm hoping means that we're finding some equality within this society here. And that made me feel really good, and I feel proud of that.
Over the years, Halle has been romantically linked to many of Hollywood's biggest stars, including Wesley Snipes, but she hasn't had much luck dating actors.
You would think on the outset it would be great because you'd all understand each other and you'd all talk the same language, but somehow it really doesn't work out that way. I think it becomes a competition. It becomes, my mother said it to me beautifully. She said, honey, I think for a relationship to work, somebody has to be the picture and somebody has to be the frame. And you've been picking pictures. You need to find a frame.
Another of Halle's pictures was baseball star David Justice. They married in 1993, but it broke up in turmoil after 3 years.
If I could do it over, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I don't think I would change a thing. I think it has all been necessary in my growth as a woman and just as a person. I think you become much stronger when you deal with adversity. Life is about peaks and valleys. And the marriage was a peak and the divorce was a valley. And I learned something of value from being in both places. And I've learned so much, not only about marriage and divorce, but I learned about myself and what I'm capable of, what I'm not capable of, what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at. And hopefully, whenever I venture into it again, if I ever do, I'll be more equipped next time to make better choices before marriage, to pick a different kind of person that's better for me. And I've learned things that I should and shouldn't do within a marriage that will possibly make it last. So I'm much richer, now that I've gone through that experience. I'm much richer of a person, and I know more about myself than I did before.
If men can't be relied upon, then at least Halle has a couple of friends she can turn to who will follow her anywhere.
Well, this is little Willie right here, and this is Polly. They're pretty much house dogs. They get to come out from time to time, and there's a cage back there in the back that I have built. So in the daytime, when I want them to be out and get some fresh air in the day, I put them in their pen back there and they run around. But when it rains, they definitely don't go out because they sleep in the bed. So I know the temperament of these dogs, and I can travel easy with them when I go places. Yeah.
I am the most protective, obscenely protective of these dogs.
And with good reason. Last year, her garden was a scene of a tragic accident.
I had 2 other Maltese dogs last year. One was 15 years old. I had him when I was in high school. And one was 9. And I went away for a little while and left my dogs outside. And when I came home, a coyote had killed both of them in my backyard. Yeah. And again, as painful as that was, there was a lesson to be learned and all that, and I'm stronger because of it.
At first, this garden became a real scary place for me to be because this is the place that I found them. So I took that negative energy and I turned it around, and I took this little spot right here and I made this their garden. I had a rock made that says, "When angels sing, flowers bloom." And I had this little doggy made with wings on it. and this represents them in heaven. And I got 2 new doggies, a girl dog, which is this little one here with the butterfly on her nose, and a boy dog over here with the heart in his mouth. So this is my dog garden, and when I start to feel really sad about them, I come out here and it makes me feel better.
But recently, there have been a couple of new additions to the family.
There. Polly went into labor about 2 o'clock in the morning, one morning. And I went down there and she was panting and doing just like women do, having, cramps and pains. And then about 8 o'clock in the morning, her water broke and these little babies started coming out. She didn't produce milk right away because she was so young, so I had to bottle feed the babies every 2 hours for maybe the first 2.5 weeks. And now that they're 3 weeks old, she's pretty much producing milk. We're feeding her chicken and turkey and all kinds, and milk and cheese, and she's producing a little bit of milk now. So I'm off feeding duty every 2 hours.
I normally take the 2 everywhere I go. I don't know how it'll be with 4, but I guess I'll find out.
Well, the view, unfortunately, is not really a clear day, but normally on a clear day I can actually see the ocean. And at night, when it's clear, it's all sparkly. That sort of goes into Century City, a little bit of what's down in West Hollywood. That's sort of what my view is.
Halle remains very close to her Liverpool-born mother, Judy.
These are a few of my favorite pictures of my favorite people. This one is a picture of my mom and me. This was taken maybe a year ago.
My mom is originally from Liverpool, but my black father was absent from my family. He left when I was 4. I have an older sister, so my mother really raised 2 what seemed to be black children in the 60s by herself. So needless to say, I have a really strong mother. I was just able to have, honestly, a dream come true for me. I was able to buy my mom her dream house in Cleveland. It's right on Lake Erie. It looks like a summer vacation home. She's got a little beach right there in the spring and the summer. That's really nice for her. Sometimes I call her and I say, "How you doing, Mom? Are you enjoying the place?" And she instantly, the tears come and she says, I can't believe you did this for me." So it's always a good feeling. She sacrificed so much so that I would have a better quality of life. To be able to give back to her in that way has been one of the best, probably the best thing I've done so far in my life. That is the best thing I've done.
The major stabilizing force in Halle's life over the last 10 years has been her friend and manager, Vincent.
A friend of mine was casting a daytime show, and they were looking for an attractive black actress. And I said, "What kind of black actress? They're different." And he said, "Someone all-American, cheerleader, pretty, spunky, all those." And I said, "Okay."
He was looking for a young, black little girl that he could put on a soap opera. And I heard he was looking for me, so I called him up and I said, "Hey, this is Halle Berry. I hear you're looking for me. Is that true?" And he said, "Yeah," and he asked me to fly to New York, and I did.
She had been a model in Chicago, and she had been a runner-up to Miss USA. And she was in the pageants and done some local commercial modeling in Chicago.
I slept on Vince's couch a lot. When I first got my first jobs, luckily I had someone like him to sort of guide me, because he taught me early on that all the money that I made went right back into my business. I used to take my per diem and all of the money that I didn't need to just live on. I chose to sleep on his sofa in his office and hire a publicist while I was making my first movie, because he taught me that it would be important for me to keep the ball rolling. So even though I was making money early on, I really didn't live like I was making money, because I kept investing it back into what he helped me realize was a business.
Right here is when I want my belly to feel good. Come outside, and when we have outdoor parties or barbecues, we usually cook out here. It's pretty industrial-sized thing, so it cooks a lot, and I like to do that from time to time. I like to have friends over and try to cook.
I like to read books, watch movies, play with my dogs, and a jacuzzi in my backyard. Nothing like having a nice glass of champagne and sitting in the hot jacuzzi.
I use the jacuzzi all the time, all year long, and whenever I have a date, which isn't often these days.
It has been suggested that Halle's stunning good looks make it difficult for men to approach her.
I'm so sick of hearing men are afraid to approach you. I could vomit. That's not true. I can't buy that anymore. A lot of men approach me, just the wrong men. A lot of men approach me all the time, just not ones I really want to date. Since divorce, I'm redefining what's important to me. And right now, the jury's still out. I don't really know what I'm looking for. I'm finding that out. I'm finding out what I value in a mate and what I need in a mate, more importantly. Not just what looks good to me, but what will be good for me. I don't know if I'm steering away from other celebrities. All I do know is that that relationship would be a very difficult one, and it would have to be one that would have to be handled with great care, and both people would have to really want it equally as badly, if that were the case. You know, if Brad Pitt wanted to date me today, I don't think I'd say no. So it all depends. Whoever is supposed to be my mate, I'm hoping he will come, and whatever he does and whoever he is, whatever color he is, if he's tall or short, fat or skinny, great looking or not, I just hope he'll be a good man and want to do right by me and have the same dream for himself that I have for myself, whoever he is.
This is a book that my best friend made for me because she's a costumer. She always likes to get pictures of the things that I wear, and she gives them to me. And this is the dress that I wore Oscar night.
Halle's all-time favorite dress was designed by Valentino, but she's only ever worn it once.
You can only wear one dress one time in Hollywood. To wear it twice is a big mistake.
When you're not nominated for an Oscar, which I've never been, I have only had to worry about my hair and my makeup and what I'm going to wear, and that consumes my month, Oscar month. I don't know what that's like if you're nominated and you have to worry about what you're going to wear. I mean, that just might be a little too much. It's an exciting day. It's you know, Hollywood's finest, they come out, and it's like a big parade. That's how I look at it.
Good to see all the people that I admire all year long, and I admire their work for years, and it's good to come and see their faces and pay tribute to them and pick out a dress and go through that whole drama that goes along with being a part of the Oscars. It's a fun, nerve-wracking, exciting experience.
I would love to win an award, sure, but if I don't think it would be so earth-shattering. I think I would still feel like, as long as I'm able to pay my mortgage in an industry where most actors don't work, I think I would feel pretty good.
Go have fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, I may only have 2 minutes in the sun, and so I'm gonna enjoy these 2 minutes and hopefully learn something along the way, and hopefully leave a legacy, whatever that legacy will be. I don't know yet, but I hope that I leave something very profound. I hope I leave something that other young women coming behind me will benefit from. What can one woman do about breast and ovarian cancer? More than you might think. Researchers are making great progress, but there's still so much more to do. That's why
Halle recently helped with an awareness campaign for breast and ovarian cancer.
1990. Now, it's my turn. And yours. Please, support the National Women's Cancer Research Alliance. One woman can make a difference. We all have to. I care about it because I'm a woman, and it's an issue that may directly affect me in my life or someone I know or someone I love. So it is really important.
I'd say the best career plan in show business, no plans.
More money, more money, more money.
You know, when we said she wanted to do film someday, that was the goal. How are you going to get there? You don't know. You know, you did TV, and then one step leads to another. You know, the TV show got canceled. That's great. Had it run 5 years, you wouldn't have been a film star now.
We're never content with anything, which is why I think we work well. We celebrate one victory, and then the very next minute, we're on to the next. Okay, that was great. Was that good for you? Yeah, okay, now what? The last 2 years, I've worked constantly. I've just done 4 movies back to back, so there hasn't been, as of lately, a whole lot of time to do much else besides work and sleep and eat and work and sleep and eat and work. But I'm happy that way. I think I'm one of these people that, as much as I say, I need a break, I want to take a vacation, I'll do that for 2 weeks, and then I'm bored again, and then I want to, you know, I'm calling my manager, I'm on his case about, okay, when am I going to get another job? When am I going to, you know, I think I have had to realize I'm pretty much a workaholic. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but that happens to be, I think, what I've become. What I've become! I've become a workaholic. I'm really not going to find another husband now.